psychology facts about human behavior that will blow your mind. When we talk about the largest female genitalia, it's essential to approach the subject with sensitivity and scientific curiosity. Throughout history, the size and shape of genitalia have often been surrounded by myths and exaggerations. However, recorded cases such as those documented in medical journals of the 19th and 20th centuries provide us with factual information. For instance, one notable case from the late 1800s involved a woman from Paris, whose unusually large labia were studied by doctors fascinated by human anatomy's variations. Here's a prevalent myth in society that a true orgasm for women should be vaginal, meaning it should result from penetrative intercourse alone. However, research and clinical observations show that the majority of women do not orgasm through penetration alone without clitoral stimulation. Only about 18 to 30% of women report being able to achieve orgasm through vaginal intercourse alone. The female genitalia, primarily the external part known as the vulva, includes the labia majora and labia minora, the clitoris, and the vaginal opening. Each part has its unique sensitivity and role in sexual pleasure. The clitoris, often highlighted for its pivotal role in female pleasure, has roughly 8,000 nerve endings, making it highly sensitive and a key player in achieving sexual satisfaction. The human body has always been a subject of fascination and mystery, and female genitalia are no exception. Throughout history, the perception and understanding of female genitalia have varied greatly. In ancient times, the size and shape of female genitalia were often linked with various myths and misconceptions. For instance, in classical Greece, large genitalia were sometimes associated with lewdness and were depicted in satirical plays and art. Moving forward to the Renaissance, anatomical studies began to change perceptions. Pioneers like Andreas Vesalius started to study the human body more scientifically, offering more accurate representations and dispelling many myths. However, societal attitudes were slow to change, and many misconceptions continued to persist. Throughout history, female genitalia have been both venerated and vilified. In ancient civilizations like Greece and India, representations of female genitalia were not merely biological but were imbued with significant cultural and religious meanings. For example, the ancient Greeks had a figure known as Baubo, a mythological figure associated with female genital display as a symbol of fertility and protection. In contrast, during the Middle Ages in Europe, the female body, and particularly genitalia, were often associated with sin and temptation, reflecting the period's religious strictures. This dichotomy illustrates how cultural context significantly shapes the understanding of female anatomy. Sigmund Freud's theories prominently featured sexuality and its development. Freud posited that understanding a person's sexual life was key to understanding their psychological health. He introduced concepts like penis envy, which suggested a complex involving female children's realization of their lack of penis, which has been widely criticized and reinterpreted in modern psychology. The myth that larger or smaller genitalia impacts sexual satisfaction has been debunked by numerous studies indicating that satisfaction is influenced more by emotional factors and communication between partners. Contemporary psychologists focus more on body positivity and understanding the psychological impact of societal attitudes towards female bodies. Studies show that how women perceive their bodies can significantly impact their mental health and self-esteem. Media portrayal of bodies, especially in pornography and advertising, often presents a very narrow and often unrealistic image of what female genitalia should look like. This can create unrealistic expectations, which studies have shown to affect sexual confidence and satisfaction. Highlighting diversity in genital appearance can help counteract these stereotypes and promote a healthier self-image among viewers. Research indicates that how women perceive their genitalia can have direct implications on their sexual health. Women who feel ashamed or embarrassed by their genitalia are less likely to seek regular gynecological care, potentially leading to adverse health outcomes. A positive genital self-image is strongly linked to better sexual function. This includes more frequent orgasms and higher overall satisfaction. Addressing body image issues can thus be a key approach in improving overall sexual health and satisfaction. Promoting a positive genital self-image is crucial for encouraging proactive health behaviors. Elective genital surgeries, such as labiaplasty, have psychological implications that extend beyond physical appearance. Research indicates that while some women report improved self-esteem and sexual satisfaction post-surgery, others may experience minimal psychological benefits, suggesting that expectations and the underlying reasons for seeking surgery are crucial. Discussing the psychological aspects of why individuals opt for such surgeries can help demystify the subject and encourage more thoughtful decision-making. Women have been found to exhibit higher erotic plasticity than men. This concept refers to the extent to which the sex drive can be shaped by cultural, social, and situational factors. Studies suggest that women's sexual attitudes, behaviors, and desires are more likely to change over time and in different contexts, including how they perceive their own bodies. Understanding this can lead to more nuanced conversations about sexual identity and expression. Attitudes towards sex toys and practices like oral sex vary widely across cultures. In Iceland, the UK, and Norway, the use of vibrators during foreplay is particularly popular, indicating a more open attitude towards exploring different methods of sexual pleasure. By contrast, in many parts of Africa and among certain religious groups, oral sex is viewed as unnatural or sinful. These cultural perceptions can significantly affect individual sexual behavior and openness in relationships. Studies have found that men who participate more in household chores tend to have more frequent sex. This may be linked to perceptions of fairness and partnership in a relationship, which can enhance emotional closeness and sexual desire. The U.S. has an array of laws regulating sexual behavior, more so than many European countries. For instance, sex toys are banned in places like Alabama, and other specific sexual acts are legally restricted in various states. These laws not only reflect cultural norms but also affect how individuals express their sexuality, potentially leading to stress or conflict about sexual desires and practices. Foreplay is crucial for many women to achieve orgasm, with only 30% able to reach orgasm through intercourse alone. Men's Health highlights that proper foreplay is akin to stretching before a workout. Not only does it prepare the body for physical activity, but it also builds anticipation and enhances the overall experience. Common misconceptions about sex, such as the belief that a longer female genitalia provides more pleasure, can create anxiety and dissatisfaction in sexual relationships. It's important for sexual education to address these myths, providing factual information about what factors genuinely contribute to satisfying sexual experiences. A significant discrepancy known as the orgasm gap exists between men and women in heterosexual relationships. Studies, including one from the Journal of Sex Research, have found that while 85% of men reported their female partner had an orgasm during their most recent sexual encounter, only about 64% of women reported having one. This gap often stems from lack of communication, insufficient foreplay, and misunderstandings about female sexual response, which can lead to frustration and decreased relationship satisfaction. Believing that vaginal orgasms are necessary for complete sexual satisfaction can lead to feelings of inadequacy, sexual dissatisfaction, and unnecessary pressure in both partners. Women who do not experience vaginal orgasms may feel dysfunctional, despite this being the physiological norm. Their partners might also feel inadequate for not being able to provide an orgasm through penetration, which can affect relationship dynamics and self-esteem. The vagina has a natural pH level that ranges from 3.8 to 4.5, which is slightly acidic. This acidity helps to protect against bacterial infections and maintains a healthy balance of yeast and bacteria. The composition of vaginal flora can change with life stages, sexual activity, and overall health, emphasizing the importance of maintaining a healthy vaginal environment. Unlike other parts of the body that require external cleaning, the vagina is self-cleaning and produces secretions that help to expel bacteria and dead cells. This natural mechanism is why touching or using scented products can actually disrupt the vaginal flora and increase the risk of infections. The vagina is incredibly elastic, able to stretch significantly during sexual intercourse and childbirth. Its resting size can vary between women, but it typically measures between 3 to 4 inches in depth. During arousal, the vagina expands both in length and width to accommodate penetration, a phenomenon known as vaginal tenting. The existence of the G-spot, a sensitive area located on the front wall of the vagina, is still subject to scientific debate. However, many women report a distinct area that, when stimulated, can lead to powerful orgasms and sometimes a phenomenon known as female ejaculation. This fluid is different from urine and is believed to come from the Skene's glands. A woman's sexual desire can fluctuate throughout her menstrual cycle, with many reporting increased libido around ovulation. This peak in sexual interest coincides with biological fertility, suggesting a link between reproductive readiness and sexual activity. The clitoris is the only organ in the human body, either male or female, whose sole function is to provide pleasure. It contains over 8,000 nerve endings, making it one of the most sensitive areas of the female body. Its internal structure extends into the body, surrounding the vaginal canal and contributing to sensations felt during intercourse. Similar to the gut, the vagina has its own microbiome, primarily dominated by lactobacillus bacteria, which play a crucial role in maintaining vaginal health. Changes in this microbiome can lead to conditions like bacterial vaginosis or yeast infections, highlighting the importance of a balanced vaginal ecosystem. During childbirth, the vagina can stretch considerably to accommodate a newborn, which is typically around the size of a small watermelon. Postpartum recovery can vary from woman to woman, with the vagina generally returning to its pre-birth size, though not always its exact original shape. This natural resilience highlights the vagina's incredible adaptability and strength. The external part of the female genitalia, known as the vulva, varies significantly in appearance from one woman to another. Variations in the size, color, and shape of the labia, both majora and minora, are normal, with no two vulvas being exactly alike. Promoting understanding and acceptance of vulvar diversity is essential to combating body image issues and enhancing sexual confidence. Vaginal lubrication is primarily a response to sexual arousal and is produced by the Bartholin's glands, located near the vaginal opening. This natural lubrication facilitates sexual intercourse, reducing friction and enhancing pleasure. Lubrication levels can be affected by factors such as hormones, medication, and overall hydration. In history, there are accounts and medical records that detail extraordinary cases of human anatomy. Norms. Women's bodies were frequently depicted in art and literature as objects of purity, with little acknowledgement of their sexual desires. Natural lubrication can vary widely among women. Factors such as hormonal levels, arousal, hydration, and even diet can influence vaginal lubrication. Understanding and addressing these variations can lead to more comfortable and enjoyable sexual experiences. For many women, emotional intimacy is deeply intertwined with sexual satisfaction. Feeling emotionally connected and understood by a partner can significantly enhance the physical aspects of sex. Women's sexual peaks can occur at different times in their lives. While men typically reach their sexual peak in their late teens, women often experience heightened sexual desire and satisfaction in their 30s and 40s. Women can experience a wide range of sexual responses, from clitoral orgasms to vaginal and blended orgasms. Each type of orgasm can offer different sensations and levels of pleasure. Vaginal size does not determine sexual pleasure. The key to sexual satisfaction lies in emotional connection, technique, and mutual understanding between partners. The vagina is highly elastic and capable of returning to its pre-pregnancy state. Pelvic floor exercises can aid in this recovery process. Women's sexual desires can be just as strong as men's, though they may be influenced by different factors, such as emotional connection and relationship dynamics. In ancient Rome, women's sexuality was often tied to fertility and procreation. However, Roman literature and art also celebrated sexual pleasure and eroticism. During the Middle Ages, female sexuality was heavily regulated by the Church. Women were often viewed as either pure and virtuous or as temptresses, leading to a dichotomy in how their sexuality was perceived. The Victorian era is known for its prudish attitudes towards sex. Women were expected to be modest and chaste, and discussions of sexual pleasure were largely taboo. The 20th century saw significant changes, particularly with the sexual revolution of the 1960s and 70s. This era promoted sexual freedom and the exploration of female pleasure. Building intimacy outside the bedroom is crucial. Engaging in activities that foster emotional closeness can strengthen the sexual relationship. Estrogen helps maintain vaginal health and lubrication, which is essential for comfortable and pleasurable sex. It also affects mood and sexual desire. In ancient Greece, the vagina was often depicted in art and literature as a symbol of fertility and beauty. It was celebrated in religious rituals and revered in mythology. Many indigenous cultures around the world have revered the vagina as a sacred and powerful symbol. In some traditions, it is considered a source of life and creativity. During the medieval period in Europe, the vagina was often viewed through a lens of modesty and morality. Women's sexuality was heavily regulated by religious and societal norms. In contemporary Western society, there has been a shift towards greater openness and acceptance of female sexuality. Movements advocating for body positivity and sexual health have helped to demystify and celebrate the vagina. How a woman perceives her own body, including her vagina, can influence her self-esteem and sexual confidence. Promoting a positive body image is crucial for mental and emotional health. In many ancient cultures, rituals involving the vagina were performed to promote fertility and honor deities associated with reproduction. Historical treatments for vaginal health issues ranged from herbal remedies to more invasive practices. Some of these practices were based on cultural beliefs rather than medical science. The vagina has often been a powerful symbol in mythology and folklore. It has represented everything from creation and life to mystery and taboo. Vaginas come in all shapes, sizes, and colors. There is no normal or ideal appearance. The vagina is rich in nerve endings, especially in the outer third near the vaginal opening. This area, including the clitoris and G-spot, is highly sensitive and can produce intense pleasure when stimulated. The clitoris is often considered the powerhouse of female pleasure. Although it's located outside the vaginal canal, its internal structure extends into the vagina, contributing to sensations during penetration. Located a few inches inside the vagina on the anterior wall, the G-spot can provide a different type of pleasure. Stimulation here can lead to intense orgasms for some women. Many women require clitoral stimulation to achieve orgasm. Penetrative sex alone is not always sufficient for all women. Vaginal tightness can vary due to many factors, including genetics and muscle tone. It is not a reliable indicator of sexual history. Ancient cultures, such as those in India and China, often celebrated female sexuality and included detailed knowledge of female pleasure in their texts and practices. A wide vagina, in this context, refers to the vaginal canal's ability to expand and accommodate. This isn't a static characteristic. The vagina is incredibly adaptable. During sexual arousal, the vaginal tissues swell, and the canal can widen significantly to facilitate penetration. One of the key psychological benefits of having a wider vagina is the increased comfort during sex. Women who experience less discomfort are likely to feel more confident and relaxed, which can significantly enhance their overall sexual experience. Women with larger vaginas might worry about not providing enough friction or pleasure during intercourse, leading to anxiety and self-consciousness. Like, comment, and subscribe for more from the wisdom of psychology.